Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of GGRC, the special Christmas special GGRC. You know, it's another year that's gone by here. We're only a couple weeks from 2017, which is crazy to think about. I'm sure all of us think it every year, how crazy it is that the year is just going to change again, and the year just keeps climbing and climbing, and it's just so strange the way it keeps happening. You know, before you know it, you look at it and you're like, wow, it's 2020 now. Okay, wow. But what's interesting is that as we grow and as the number on that calendar keeps getting higher, we always continue to remember a lot of the things, you know, from our past that, you know, really touched us in some way and affected our lives. I just wanted to share with you a Christmas memory that I think is pretty fun. When we were kids, obviously gaming has always been a really big part of my life. So when we were kids, you know, we had original Nintendo, we had an Atari, and we had a Game Gear, you know, the Sega Game Gear, the color portable and whatnot. We played the hell out of those things. Absolutely loved them. And during Christmas, it was the one time of the year where we really thought that we were going to get, you know, all these games that we wanted, you know. And back then, it was a lot harder than it is now. Now you could just look up anything you want on the internet and figure out how much something is, where you can buy it. You can even go on eBay and find old stuff that you haven't acquired yet and can't find, you know, new in stores, and somehow acquire that for yourself. There's all these different avenues to do this stuff, but back then, you didn't find out about these things unless you had like a magazine or an ad circular or something like that. It was a very, very different world. So being a kid during Christmas back then was a lot different because you had commercials, you had ad circulars, you had magazines, and that was it. You know, commercials were king back then. If you saw a toy commercial for something that looked interesting to you, that was what you wanted. And a lot of times, video games were not advertised on TV back then. You see a lot more of it today, you know, on YouTube and on television, but back then it was virtually non-existent except for a couple things. Like Nintendo might release a commercial that's just like, you know, hey, check out all these different games that we have, but it was never game specific. So you might have saw a clip of something, but you didn't know what the game was, you know? It was tough. Of course, there were commercials for specific games. Don't get me wrong. Everybody remembers that silly, you know, Zelda rap commercial and whatnot. But anyway, coming back to Earth here for my rant. Christmas was important because this was when you could ask for whatever you saw in those commercials and magazines and everything. So at the time, you never knew what you were going to get. Nowadays, I feel like kids, you know, can look on the internet and they write out a very specific list and boom, 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 that's what the parents get them. My parents didn't know a thing about video games, which is totally fine. And they did their best to go to places like Funko Land and, you know, Kmart, whatever else was available at the time, and just pick out what they thought was going to be a fun game. Sometimes we got stinkers, sometimes we got really, really good ones that, you know, we loved and cherished forever, you know. But this specific memory, I remember me and my sister as kids, we had opened all of our gifts, or so we thought. We opened all of our gifts, and we were looking around, and we were happy with what we got. We got a lot of good stuff. Our parents always took care of us during Christmas and bought us things that we liked. But there were no games. Both of us were like, we each had our own Game Gear. You know what I mean? We each wanted to play two-player NES games with each other all the time. And it was a bit of a punch to the gut when we opened all of our gifts and we didn't have one NES game or one Game Gear game. We were like, oh my god. Like, and so we had to tell our parents, like, you know, they asked us, did you get everything you wanted? And we said, yeah, we did, but we didn't get any video games this year. Like, we weren't really bratty about it or anything. We were just like, we like, you know, some of the other stuff we got, but we didn't get any games, which is the thing that we look forward to the most. And I may be misremembering this. I may be remembering this completely off from what actually happened, but in my head, I remember us saying that, and then my dad's face just going kind of like, you know, like that. That might just be like my cartoon memories, like filling that in, but I feel like he did that because immediately he was like, hey, I gotta go to the garage real quick, I'll be right back. And he went out there, and me and my sister are just kind of like looking at our presents and everything, and he came back in and he had this box. It's almost like a tray box that you would carry, like, you know, 6 packs of soda in, you know, and there were a few gifts in it, and they were box-shaped, like video game box-shaped gifts, and he goes, oh, you know, it says something to the effect of like, oh, I think Santa forgot to bring these in. And we looked at them and we were like, oh my god, these are games. The thing that sucks about this memory is I don't remember what games they were. But I do have the memory that my dad went out and got the games out of the garage, brought them in, and we did get some games after all, which was great. If I had to wager a guess as to what it was, I keep going back to thinking it was either like Metroid for the NES or it was like a Sonic game for the Game Gear. You know, we got two of them, but I don't remember what they were exactly. So anyway, that is one of the memories I always cherish, that's at least gaming related when it comes to Christmas. It's one of the things I always think about that I'm just like, that was so funny that, like, you know, my parents or Santa forgot to bring in, you know, the gifts from the garage, which I think that's really funny. And I think it says a lot, you know, that your parents went out of their way to get you a gift, and, you know, they put so many things under the tree and get things, you know, so well crafted for Christmas that they forgot to put a couple under the tree. As a kid, you're just like, what are you thinking? But when you become an adult, you realize, like, wow, with so many responsibilities and so many things going on, especially like you know, when we grew up, we didn't have a ton of money or whatever. Our parents, like, going out of their way to work and get us these things as kids and everything. I really appreciate it. So, Mom and Dad, if you're watching, thank you. And I just want everybody else to have a very Merry Christmas. And I hope you all stay safe. I hope you're able to make your own memories like I did as a kid. And I will see you next time on GGRC. Thanks for watching, everybody. Don't forget to check out some of the other GGRC episodes. And if you're feeling a little retro, why not jump into the Quake Grave, where you can watch me play through a lot of different custom maps in Quake. Enjoy!